time to time, but never quite like this.
Really?
Uh, yeah, it's going to take a couple of minutes. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, like I don't know. This feels different. Feels a lot different.
Yeah.
And
I must say,
I think your
yes.
mom's coming on next week.
Yes, she is on the 25th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. How many are in your family in the house?
I've got my mum, my sister, and my dad. Those are just the four of us. My dad's away at the moment, so
Okay.
he's watching as well, so that's quite
Oh, is he
nice.
really?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful. Welcome, Dad.
So,
I'm a
hi,
dad.
Dad.
Six times I'm a dad.
Yeah.
So, would you say that the household is woke?
Yes, yeah. My mother is definitely, yeah. Yeah.
And your, is it sister or did you say
Sister.
sister?
Yeah.
And your sister and your dad?
My sister is too, and my dad is too, but my mum started the chain reaction, really.
She
She,
did.
yeah, she began it all.
So, did it just come out of the blue one day? She came and pulled you aside and said, "Hey."
I can't really remember where, how, or where it happened, but she would definitely tell you on the 25th. So, yeah.
So, how long has this been going on? How long have you been like this?
Whew. um, a couple, I want to say 3 years.
Hmm. So, since
So,
like you're 16, right?
yes, yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, on this platform, people talk about some pretty, I don't know, normal society would think it's crazy. They
Yeah.
talk about everything, ETs, fairies, dimensional experiences, apparitions. A lot of them talk about when they were young, they had that sensitivity and it went away or they shut it down. Have you experienced anything like that?
When I was younger, I was very fascinated with crystals, and I loved amethyst. I absolutely loved it, and there was this shop where we used to live, and I'd always go down there to have a look at the crystals and the fossils, and I loved that. And then it kind of went away, and then my mother woke up a while ago, then like a while later, and then everything came back again, and that was really quite nice to be back experiencing what I liked as a kid, really.
So people talk about clairs, like clairsentient, clairaudient, the different higher sixth sense, higher sensitivities, like you can feel something's there, or some people see things or they hear
Yeah.
things. Do you sense anything?
I'm very sensitive. Like, I can't deal with certain noises, or big crowded environments are a bit of a challenge. But I feel things from the past sometimes. Like, I get the like waves of like from maybe past lives. I did this one meditation where I had this soldier come to me, and he was wearing a very old ancient Greek kind of war helmet, and I cried a lot after that one. And I feel like actually yesterday, last night I was going to bed and I heard someone like coughing and like right in front of me, and I felt this presence of this man who was just trying to wake me up and get my attention. And then I woke up and he disappeared. And that happened twice. And I can, like, it's just the sensitivity of other people as well. I can feel what they kind of, I can feel what they are expressing, or how, what they need, or, yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's like everyday life for you.
Yeah, it's quite fun. Yeah.
Is it hard to figure out what feelings or what you're feeling sometimes when you're around people? Are they your feelings or are they their feelings?
Yeah, that it is difficult. Sometimes I overthink a lot of things. So sometimes it's like you look at someone and then you get this I get this instinct going, oh, they I don't think they're okay, or think they're a bit upset, and they're hiding it, and then I overthink things, and then I get into kind of like a whirlpool of thoughts and stuff. But when it comes to when it comes to I completely forgot what I was going to say. I'm very nervous.
That's okay. No, you're doing fantastic. We're just having a conversation. You can ask
Yeah.
questions too if you want to. Um, are there? Do you know many young adults your age or around your age, give or take a few years, whatever, that are tuned in like you?
Yes, you spoke to Lisa, who's kind of my spiritual auntie, and she and my mother, we've done a group called Conquest Children, where children of all sorts of backgrounds and all over the world get together, and um, we work together, showing their own talents. I'm pretty sure you've Lisa covered a bunch of the stuff, but we've covered chakras, meditations, and one little girl, she loves walls, and another one loves mermaids and is connected to the water and loves like speaking to it and moving it and like feeling it, and it's really incredible. The,
Wow,
ch- the the children in that group are really just amazing. Yeah,
wow.
and yeah, I'm the oldest in the group, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I am. I'm the oldest in that group, which is quite nice because I get to see other people who are younger than me who still have this creativity without having that taken away from them because of
Right.
like patterns being put onto them. And it's nice to show that support because being older, you kind of get looked up to a lot. So it's quite nice to have those people, those children, to look at me going, look, I'm still this age and I'm being who I want to be at this time.
Well,
Yeah.
wow. All I can keep doing is saying wow, wow. Um, so is it like done online or in person?
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, we did it on. It was last year we did it, and then we've taken a break.
Mm.
It was before the summer holidays for them, and it was all online. We did Zooms. Sometimes we had a full house. Sometimes we only had a couple of them, depending on how they felt. We covered sessions on whatever they wanted to take. If they wanted to talk about something, then they spoke about it. If they wanted to a meditation, wanted to talk about chakras and crystals, and
Mm.
then they my mum and Lisa led a session on it, and it's just really a lovely and safe space for all of us, and we can express what we really want and who we really are without
Well,
feeling judged.
so what is someone like you? How do you look at the world?
Uh, if you would have asked me that question a couple months ago, I would have said with a very narrow mind. Um, it depends what aspects of the world, but at the moment, and how I'm feeling really. But with the world is just so messed up at the moment, but then it's absolutely incredible at the same time. And with how I am feeling now in this moment, I feel that it's pretty good. And my viewpoint on it is that we do need we just need to be who we are and what we really want to be. So, and that will help people like expand a bit. I'm really nervous.
Yeah, you're doing fantastic. How do you fit in or not fit in school?
Well, I struggled a lot in school with friends and being accepted into any sort of group. I've left school as of January this year, and I'm
Congratulations.
homeschooling. I think yes, it was a big step, but I'm very, very glad I did it. But with fitting into schools, I was lonely, very, very alone. And because of my amazing parents, I got through it. And because we had loads of late night talks about um, just talking about like dreams and wishes and just talking about emotions and how I feel. That was a big thing with my mum that we spoke about. And in school, I felt very disconnected from the other kids. They were very they were very teenagery. I was a bit more mature, but I never understood what they were talking about. I was kind of sat out of most of things, and I stood out. I was always the tallest, so I pretty much stuck out like a sore thumb when we walked into the
How
lunch hall or
how
something.
tall are
And
you? How tall are you?
175 centimeters.
Whatever that is.
I don't know. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I don't know what that is. Somebody help me out.
1 meter 75.
1 meter 70. 1 meter is 3 feet. You're
I don't
very
know.
tall. You're very tall. Then,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
very cool. Um, so I mean, in terms of like where what the future holds, a lot of people on this platform, and they come in and we talk about these sensitivities and these transmissions that we're receiving from the universe. And a lot of people have the same information that we're transforming physically and otherwise. I guess there's a lot of ways to look at it, but that things are moving in a very positive, almost supernatural direction. Does any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, yeah, it does. Um, yeah, many things have changed very quickly, and at the same time, it feels like I've been waiting forever. And yeah, I do agree that we are changing, we are developing, and you can really feel it. I mean, these last couple weeks, you really it's like crazy mood swings. You go from absolutely fine to your head spinning around and you're having to like hold onto your chair and stuff. And yeah,
Do you think everybody's feeling it?
in different ways, and it's presented to everyone in a different way. Some people who are aware of it might feel a bit more, and some people who really need a push feel it a lot more. Just
Do you feel like part of what you're feeling is the overall collective energy?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that everyone that it all moves together, and sometimes it's kind of like a sea. It just goes woo 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 woo. So, but it was all together in the end.
That's a great example. That's a great example. Do you think you picked up your gifts from your mom? Does it run in the family?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I pick up a lot of things from my mum and dad. I get a lot of all the teachings that she's given me when I was at school and I was going through really hard times, and I needed someone to talk to. My mum would always give me lots of wisdom, words of wisdom, and we talk loads, and she'd really help me with going through it all, and she'd explain to me and how and why I felt left out or alone. And my dad helped me when a lot when we were talking on dog walks, walking through the woods, and we talk about things and how amazing the future is going to be. And he passed on the logical and the think about it,
Right.
and my mum passed on the feel it.
Wow. God. Incredible parents.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met any other parents like them?
No, I've met I've met a lot of my mum's friends are also incredible. You've spoken to Badashir and Lisa, and there's also Frida, and they're wonderful, and they're like that. But everyone has their own frequency and their own energy, so they hold the space differently. And sometimes when you want to go and goof off, you would go to someone else, and you'd have a different experience with them. But as of with my mum and dad, I haven't met anyone
That's
like
very
them.
cool. It's like
Yeah,
the White Witches of Eastwick. The White Witches, like a beautiful coven family.
yeah,
So, in your house, I mean, obviously, I've talked to a couple of people that have households similar, and the dad's kind of like he's in on it, but he doesn't really talk about it. He just kind of lives it. Seems to be a characteristic of the men. Does that hold true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But in a household like that where everything is so open, do you have any weird stuff go on, like paranormal, or people say getting the feeling at the same time, or just does any of that come in?
Yeah, we have a lot of telepathy. Like I sit in the car and I'd think of something, and then immediately someone would go, "Oh, by the way, I've been thinking about this," and that would be quite. That's always quite fun. Another thing is when one of us feels we feel each other's emotions. Like I feel a bit like really emotional. I've just spoken to someone who lives abroad, and I get really emotional. And then my sister comes down and goes, oh, I really feel sad today, and we really tune in like that. And or when one of us is feeling a bit bad, then the other one comes in, does something, goes, "Wow, that really made me feel better," and we know that there's someone who needs something to make them feel better.
Does the world ever scare you?
Yeah, if I think into the future, and I get really I describe my minds as like a whirlpool or like a tornado almost, and I kind of get swept up in these thoughts, and I start thinking about, oh, what am I going to do? How's this going to work? Um, how's my how am I going to be okay in a couple years time? Because when you're homeschooling, it's you are a bit uncertain about the future, but I try and live week by week, day by day. Otherwise, I get too worried, and it's never during this time you just can't think too far ahead. Everything changes so quickly and so much that you never know. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're from the earth?
Yes. Yes. I have. I have a connection to I've had a connection to the star constellation Cassiopeia. I have no idea what that means, but I had that coming up so often. I have three freckles on my arm which link up to the star constellation. I walked into a room and I saw that name across in a shop,
Oh
and
wow.
it keeps coming up to me. I don't know if that's something, but I feel quite like I know the world quite well. So I feel like I've been here many times. So yeah.
You feel like you've been here many times. Yeah, my wife has that on her leg. She didn't even know it, and one night we were just hanging out, and she started pointing at her leg, and we ran outside, and it was right above our head. I can't remember the name of it. Corona something. But yeah,
Oh
same
wow.
thing like you. You have the freckles on your arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about yeah, like the possibility of star family somehow were their descendants? You know, UFOs, starships, stuff like that. Do you ever think about any of that?
I do. I do. I do think that there are others. I do think that we are part of just a, a very big group, and we're all one. We're all together, and we I really haven't thought of it too much, but I know that we all have the same like energy, all like together. We all have the same thing. We're all one mass, and we are all connected. As far as I know about star families, I'm not too sure.
And how do you you mentioned creativity a couple of times. How do you know get your fix on your creativity? Are you into any type of expression like writing or singing, dancing, instruments, anything like that?
I love to write. I love to write stories. I I'm thinking, at the moment planning writing a book or something. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. I've written loads of short stories, and I feel I love ancient Greece, and I love retelling and really incorporating that in my writing. So I bring in the muses, and I bring in all the other the deities, and I just retell the story and how it comes to me. I've read hundreds and hundreds of stories and different versions of each myth, but then I kind of create my own. I just sit and I read and I write, and then it kind of goes into this flow, and I just begin. I also love to paint. I
Mm.
paint with. I've recently taken up a project with painting Egyptian deities, which
Wow.
is part of a which is a part of a project to do with home education, because I'm just learning about Egypt, so it's quite fun to write and paint and do everything I can with Egypt in mind instead of sitting and reading textbooks.
Do you feel a connection to like the Egyptian or the Greek the Greek?
Yes, I do feel I feel a connection, like I've walked to Greece. I can never tell you I can remember. I can only feel. Um, I I can feel the past of. I can feel like the people and some of the like some of this. There's always this man figure with this helmet who just like who's always enters my mind whenever I think of Greece, and I knew he was from. I can feel he was from there, and I remember having some connection to this person. And with Egypt, I am just discovering Egypt at the moment. I felt very moved away from Egypt quite a lot, and only now I have been able to open Egypt up to myself and
Wow.
start reading.
Do you ever have any weird dreams or like lucid dreams?
Yeah, yeah. I had this one very odd dream of having this being this air spirit and turning into the wind and turning into animals and being able to sit and basically confronting this. It's always a male figure, but we're confronting this male figure saying, "I am the I'll say it. I am the goddess of youth," and I just stood there and I had this huge wind powers, and it was really cool. But that's what I can remember most right now. But I have this. Well, before I fall asleep, and you know you're asleep, there was this. There's always this. There's this like presence or this. It happened twice where I heard someone coughing, and then I'd wake up from that because it's someone coughing in your room. You kind of freak out, but I wake up from that and I'm like, who's that? And I can feel this person stood next to me, and then they go.
They didn't leave
Yeah,
a card. They didn't leave a card or a message.
no, no.
So, what's like the biggest surprise you ever got, or the biggest fright, or the strangest things that might have happened to you?
The strangest things that have happened. Well, the biggest fright for me at this moment is just thinking of the future. I
Really?
Yeah, it's hard because you're you're in you're in like a frame of mind where you are ready for the change, but the rest of the people around you are not. You know what you want, you know what I know what I'm going to do, but I'm people who are out there just don't feel what I feel. They don't want the change. They kind of fear it almost sometimes, and yeah, yeah. Like you don't know what's going to happen next. Really, I know a couple people like me who are in this period of just focusing on what I really want to do, trying to get out of the old programming of education and schools and all that sort of stuff. And but when you think about what's going to happen, what about careers or university, that really frightens the person because not many people are ready to accept that.
Well, maybe you can get paid for writing books.
That
That
would be amazing.
that dream would be a great story. a
Yeah.
great short story, The Goddess of Youth. That was a powerful dream. Does your mom talk about ascension? Does she talk about the change
Yes,
and
she
what's
does.
happening?
She does, yeah. She loves she always talks about it to me and my sister. We go downstairs and she's like, "You won't believe what I just read," and or look at look I've seen this, or I can feel this, and yeah, she will tell you all about it on was it Wednesday?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. We'll have a good conversation. So it sounds like you're very sensitive to nature, animals.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you can connect with them?
I feel more recently than before. We have a dog and a cat, and the cat's kind of warming up to us more now, and um, the dog, I can sometimes feel what he's thinking, or I can kind of I can look at him and I can just kind of have a really brief conversation in my head sometimes. It's not like, I don't know if it's actually like a real proper connection. I just get these feelings. It's always feelings.
Are
Yeah.
you are you able to do that with a person like your mom?
I can feel what they, if like really strong emotions, I can feel what they are, sometimes what they're thinking, but that's quite rare. But yeah.
What do you think the odds are, or the possibilities, or the percentage that it could happen? Like spaceships landing, ET, star family coming out, or that whole aspect comes into our lives in a much greater way. Do you think that's something that could happen?
I think it's already here. They're already here among us, but we just not ready or don't want to see them just yet. No matter how someone's saying, "Yes, I wish I could see this," there is still something
Into
kind of holding them back. Going, I would love to, but I don't know if I really want to.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, under the blanket.
yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, that's a good point. So, do you think those energies that we're talking about, like, let's say they're star family, ET, whatever, do you think that there's anything to be concerned about? Do you feel like it's all friendly, like they're family, or do you think otherwise?
Everything is good. We're all made from. We are all light. We are all
Yeah.
just pure happiness and joy, and everything is. And it's just the way that if someone perceives something, can change their perception. And if you see something as absolutely incredible, it is absolutely incredible, and to you, it is absolutely incredible. Yeah,
A lot of people that come on the show don't really like being in crowds.
yeah,
do, do you have a challenge going into a room full of people, and if so,
yeah.
how do you get through it, or how do you engage it when you have to do it?
With going into crowded spaces, it's difficult, um, and stay on the border of the big crowded room, sit right at the back, so if anything, you can escape quickly. But I, I, I am very sensitive. Again, I keep saying this, but I am very sensitive to noise, to certain noises when people talk. I cannot stand, so I had to get up and leave, and which is quite fun when someone's having a conference and you just walk out or something. But yeah, so far that's not really um, really happened as much going to crowded rooms. Or but when it does, I try and just breathe through it. That's the best I can do.
Not suffocate. It feels like you're suffocating sometimes.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to adults? Like, what would you, as a 16-year-old, with your journey and your experience, what do you think that parents or adults need to know?
I think just uh, letting your child really do what they want to do. Like sometimes it's embarrassing for someone who's my age to be really interested in reading books for just this is just an example, like books that are written for younger generations that can be read by anybody. Just letting them really like be who they really are and not feel that they have to even hide that from their family. Just accept them completely and just say, and like, hey, do you want to go on the swing set for the with the little kids and stuff like that? Because we still want to. We're older doesn't mean that we're like not kids in the head. So yeah.
Me too. Do you ever get any kind of like uh, heads up or like prophecy or see the future or feel something's going to happen?
Mm, not really. I don't. I feel sometimes just things come in, like I might want to go, and like I have like these like when you really want something and you feel it and you can see it and you really want to travel somewhere, and then that could be a future calling or something. But things always change. It's just always messy, so you can never be too sure.
Yeah. You mentioned one of the things that concerns you is like, what are you going to do or what are young people going to do? Careers, is there going to be universities? What do you, I think I pretty much know, but what do you think of the education system and how do you, how do you think that can change or what would you,
Well, I would make it. I very much disagree with it, which will come to a shock to many teachers. Um, and I was always kind of like the kid that did everything, the kid that the teachers fell back on if anyone else didn't know the answer. I always did the homeworks and all of that, and that was only because I just didn't want the teachers bothering me.
right?
Because I'd go home and I didn't really want to study, so I'd read my own books and do my own stuff. And but with the whole system, it's just it drains you. They put so much pressure on you, trying to fit you into this little box that you really are not. Like you really want, like they make you always think about the future, never now. They stress, and it's just so much stress for us. It's, yeah,
Yeah. Compete, conform, be
yeah,
normal. Do you speak light language?
no,
Somebody
no,
asked.
no.
I didn't get the feeling that it's, and like it sounds like when you're this whole writing thing. I mean, is this something that came on in the last 3 years as you were waking up these last 3 years?
Yeah, I always struggled with English as a subject. Never really enjoyed writing because I just never had any original ideas. But recently it is recently that I've really loved to write. I've been sitting and thinking about the deities that I wish to write about. I sit and meditate with them, and then I start writing. Sometimes it's even without a meditation, and I can just feel like just writing, and it just comes without thinking too much, and that's what I really enjoy.
5D school.
That would be cool.
I know that you kind of alluded earlier that the those that are your age. I mean, you're kind of in a different group, like all of us out, on the other
Yeah.
side. Um, but when you were in school, like what's the spirit of the children, of the young people? Are they happy? Are they caught up in how they look? Are they just naturally tuned in? You talked about the advice you'd give parents, letting people do what they want, being free, so to speak. Do you pick up on any of that? What's the temperature of the young people?
They we all try to be someone we're not so we can fit in. that is with everybody. We, I speak as we, I'm speaking as everyone
Right.
pretty much my age. Um, or some people are not like this, but just as a general, as what I can feel, I feel like they, we will kind of, we try and shape ourselves to be someone we're not. Um, we, it's really difficult to explain. We never, we always want to be, we want to fit in. We just want to have a group, but because we are not being who we really are, we won't fit in
Right.
because we're not being kind of like true to ourselves. We're not doing what we want to be doing. We hide the aspects of ourselves that we don't want others to find and don't want others to criticize.
Wow. Have you found some in yourself over the years?
Sorry, repeat that?
Have you found things out about yourself like over the
Yeah,
years? Wow.
yeah, yeah. I've discovered that I've discovered a lot of things, all small things, like the way that I talk sometimes. Cling to I'd cling to the past because there was that one moment which was really amazing, and I just kept elaborating on that over and over. And I'd always think way too far ahead. And at one point, because of school and the stresses that I'd get from it, I'd be um, I'd be way ahead, going right retirement plans. How am I going to do that and stuff like that? But it, it's trying to be in the moment is the thing that I've been learning and practicing myself the
Right.
most,
Right.
because it's I was always in the future, always in the future.
Do you find that it's confronting to like be honest with yourself and have to make admissions or
Yeah.
just face the fact that you didn't see something, or do you find that a challenge?
Yes, I do. It's this annoying when you discover something that you've been trying to hide for so long, and then it comes up. You, I always get really emotional and I start crying, going, "I know it's this, but I don't want to face this. I don't want to be confronted by it." And I like deciding that I want to leave was something that and just basically going down deep, going, right, okay, what do I really want without anyone else's judgment? I'd come and I'd think really deep down and I'd say, okay, what is it? And confronting that is just hard enough in its own way.
Yeah, a lot of people tuning in spend a lot of time with themselves. Uh, that's pretty much a standard trait in this kind of environment. Do you spend a lot of time alone?
Yes, I do. I find it very difficult to talk to other people sometimes. Just the other day, I had to go to town, and I was completely just in pieces. Going, I don't even know how to catch a bus right now, and um, and just communicating with other people is so difficult. And it's quite nice to be alone, but at the same time, at the end of the day, when I've spent a whole day in my room working on my own projects or reading, I go downstairs because I feel like I have to be with my family. So having my family there is just so good because they're kind of like the rock bottom.
Do you feel like when you're doing your paintings that you're connecting with certain energies? Like if you're painting a certain person or place or uh, mythical icon, Greek god or whatever, do you feel like you're connecting with them?
Yes, I wrote a when I yeah, with the paintings. I was painting the Egyptian goddess Isis, and I painted her with her wings, and then instead of a sun disk upon her head, I put a scarab beetle because I really love scarab beetles, so I just
Really?
put the scarab beetle. Yeah, and underneath, I wanted to write in hieroglyphics her name, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I was googling, I was trying to find it in a book, and I just everything I had in front of me just didn't have the answer. I sent it up to the universe and I said, look, I really want these names. If they can present themselves to me, that would be amazing. And I went upstairs, I looked at my books and I saw one and I went, okay, and I opened it and on that page was all her names, all her titles. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I went downstairs and I translated it and wrote it. And then in other times when I'm writing, I can feel the presence of one of them. I can feel kind of sometimes it's just really faint, but just thoughts that kind of interlink with my own, and then I just write it onto the page.
Wow. Yeah. Some people call that automatic writing, channeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scarab beetle. Yeah. Those are cool.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. Do you ever communicate, like people in these groups, they'll talk about their inner child. Do you ever like communicate with your past self or maybe your future self?
I've never felt that I can have someone from myself from the future. I haven't um, felt that as I haven't really felt that, but from the past, I get that a lot. I sometimes feel like I've done this before, or I know, like when you pick up a skill and you're like, oh, this is very easy. It's like you've done it before, and you're just
Yeah.
reconnecting to the. It's like you're reconnecting to it all.
Yeah, I picked that up from you. Like when you said you've been here many times,
Yeah,
which I find for myself, for you, I'm sure, and probably everybody here, which is strange. You've been here, you've done it over and over and over, but at the same time, we can't go into a room full of people. It's like
yeah,
we're
yeah,
still. It's like we're walking on a different planet.
yeah. It does feel like that.
So, how does your dad handle living with two, maybe three fairies?
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well. Um, yeah, he really wants to. He really wants to do this, and be with us, experiencing all of this. But it's kind of like an easiness sometimes, or when he understands it all and he accepts it all. But sometimes when you spring up a new idea, it's this very old programming of very old British kind of programming from many generations, and oh,
Many,
you must
many
be like this, and kind of
thousands
like
of years ago.
yeah, it's like the old kind of like put the tie on the shirt kind of behavior kind of comes in, but then um, he always finds um, his own thoughts without thinking of anyone else, and he goes, this is what I want. This is how I feel.
Do you think that you'll be connecting with other people your age as time goes on? I mean, like on a local level or even online, like where those like you are kind of come out and hang out together.
Yeah, I really I would love that, and to know that to know that you are not alone is just amazing. I mean, I haven't met many people my age who are going through this, so knowing if there were other people in like a community or like a group on Facebook where we all or Zoom meetings where we could talk. And best thing is to do it in person, but there's people all around the world who are experiencing this, so it's nice. So it'd be always best to open the doors to anyone. It would be really nice, and I can see that happening in the future, and even taking trips to places and going on like adventures as a group would be quite fun.
Do you feel like you'll be able to travel the world at will, like go wherever you want to go? Do you feel like that? I mean, if you have any sense of it at all, do you feel like we're going to have that type of freedom?
Yes, yeah, I feel that traveling and seeing everything, and seeing the world and using its different resources is what it's here for. I mean, like the world has gives us what we need, and from that we can grow and change. And by traveling and seeing all of this, we get to see the different aspects of the world and how they live, and it's just nicer to know that there are many other people and who are like us but take it in a different way, or have different rituals which you can try, and
Hmm.
it's just a nicer open wide, yeah.
Do you ever feel like elementals, like fairies or elves or dragons, or do you ever feel any type of nature energy that's not like in physical form?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. When I go to the forest, sometimes when I was a kid, I'd go to the forest and I'd run over the tree with the roots, and I'd play with the trees, and I'd always imagine and feel these like the spirits of the trees talking to me and playing with me when I'd be making mud potions and stuff.
Mud potions. I would have been eating them. The girls make the mud pies and the potions, and the boys eat them. Wow. Amazing. Were you affected by COVID at all? Did
Um,
you? Yeah.
yeah, we the whole family got COVID at the beginning of this year, and but and that was quite fun because we all were together in the house for like 2 months, and we got to know each other's worlds a bit more, because you'd have your father working from home, I was online, my sister was online, and then we'd all talk about how it is like to be at home, and that was when we really decided the school there's enough of school, we're leaving, and my sister and I are both out. But even before this year in 2020-21, we were always here. We just in the country, we couldn't go and see our family abroad, which was quite quite annoying because you miss family abroad. But but being here, we and being all together, we really grew, and we really got to understand each other a bit more, and that was really amazing. Yeah.
Isn't that ironic? And
Yeah.
and most households probably weren't as connected as your household, and you still found a greater presence with each other. It's funny how something, I don't want to say ill-intended, but something that's, say, not of a good vibration actually creates these pockets of transformation, like within your household.
Yeah.
Is there anything like? And I so appreciate you coming on. Have you ever been on a live before?
Nope.
Because I mean, you're a natural. Yeah, it's
My
been.
hands are
I mean,
completely shaky under the
hey,
table.
I've done lots of these, thousands of these, and I still get nervous. Um, like, is there anything that you would want people to know? Like about anything, about yourself, about the world, about what you know, what you don't know, or just anything?
I actually wrote a couple of things down before I came here, but I nothing is really coming up. Um,
Like,
really, just I would really just say, just stick to who you really are, even those little parts that you kind of push away or hide from others. That just bring it up and express it. I mean, I struggle with that. It's like asking someone. It's kind of like, I'm not saying that I've done it all. I'm saying that I haven't, and I'm working through this, and just being true to yourself is just really important. Just be be yourself, really. Yeah,
wow,
I can't think of anything else really.
no, that's beautiful. I mean, that's it. everyone's chasing all these answers, and it wouldn't it be just, it makes perfect sense. It's funny, but it makes sense that the answer would be just be yourself.
Yeah, and accept yourself too.
Yeah.
That's really important. Like accept the way you are, the way you're built. Um, if you're tall and dangly, if you're really short, just accept that this is you, and you are your own power. It's all inside of you, and yeah, that's also quite important.
I'm glad you reminded me of that as my hair is falling out and turning white. Is your sister like you?
She
She
is.
older or younger?
She's younger than me. She's 3 years younger.
Okay.
She's 14 actually. Her birthday was a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
And yeah, she is like she's like me, but again, completely the opposite of me. We're I'm very think things through. She's act and then deal with the consequences. So, yeah,
Don't ask for permission, beg for forgiveness. She operates on that. I'm kind of like that too. Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for coming in and sharing space with us and honoring us with your presence. I'm really honored that you came out on this platform for the first time. I hope you do it more. We'd love to do it with you again.
yeah.
Uh,
I'd love to. I will be hopefully less nervous.
oh no, you did fantastic. You did absolutely fantastic. You're a natural. But yeah, so all blessings to you and your family, and I guess we'll see your mom Wednesday and
Yep.
see what the twin looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have all four of you on camera before it's all over.
That'll be great.
That would be real good.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to your dad. What's it like every time you turn around, one of them twinkles their nose and something appears or disappears?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
very much for having me.
Thank you.
It's been really great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You take care.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye.
All blessings.